introduction and welcome webinar. Now, I've got a couple of guys on the line, Ken and James Knight, and these two guys are brothers. They've been doing offline marketing for quite a while. Even though they're really young, they know a lot about offline marketing, and so we're just going to jump right in. I'm going to introduce them, and then we're just going to basically get to what we need to present to you guys. Hey, Ken, Jim, how you guys doing today?
Great. We're glad to be here.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here and give you guys tons of information.
Okay, so we're talking about offline marketing. Now, there's tons of offline marketing programs out there, a lot of WSOs, but I think you guys bring a different perspective to the table. So let's talk a little bit about your background. Now, is it true that one of you owned a Subway at 18 years old?
Yes, actually, that was me, and Ken Knight. And yeah, I did actually own a Subway at 18. It turned into one of the highest performing Subway stores in South Florida, and it did really great. We used to have lines out the door. We had, and it was also in the Florida Keys, so we used to get a lot of celebrities in all the time. It was kind of fun business. We had Radar from MASH, Goldie Hawn, all kind of a lot of famous people come in there and stuff because it was in a great location right near the airport in the Florida Keys. But the only thing about owning a Subway, or most bricks and mortar type businesses, as most people probably know if they've ever been in that type of an experience, is once you own it, you're pretty much married to the business. Going on a lot of vacations, even though you're making a ton of money, is not as possible anymore. And I'm glad I had the experience because it actually was able to teach me at a very young age how to think like a business owner rather than what they teach you in high school and in college. That a lot of that type of stuff is just theory. You really can't use that information in real life. So yes, we did have Subway at that age.
Absolutely. So now, you guys also are involved heavily in real estate still. I guess you've owned a retail clothing store, an ice cream store, an Italian restaurant.
Yeah, type A personalities here is what we are. But yeah, I'm a real estate broker. I moved up to South Carolina. We both did. And I have a real estate broker's license in South Florida, Florida, as well as also in South Carolina. Jim owns like a ton of rental properties, so he's pretty much like a landlord, and he does that pretty well. He's got it on the system. We had a retail clothing store down in the Florida Keys. We also had an ice cream store there. And
Smoothie store.
Yeah. Yeah, and in Boca Raton, we had an Italian restaurant, a full-scale Italian restaurant with waiters, waitresses, the whole schmear. It was a really nice location not too far from the beach in Boca Raton, Florida.
So we really know what business owners are really thinking. So when we go into see a business owner, so we know what you're going to see as resistance, because people used to come to us and want to do offline marketing, and we knew what was successful and what was not. So it's pretty easy for us to actually explain a lot of this, and we were very successful at it.
Okay, so vast amount of experience, even though you're still very young in your 20s, and I can say that because I'm in my 60s, so I can say you guys are young. Okay, so how did you get started really in offline marketing? You got the
I gotta tell you, Guy, when we first met you years ago, and we learned quite a bit of things from you because I know you're pretty much one of the people, our mentors that we look up to. And we first started off doing traditional internet marketing, and one of the first things that we started doing was with AdSense. And through some of the things that you taught us, we were making up to $5,000 per month doing AdSense. But as you know, Google can be pretty fickle with AdSense, and it's not what it used to be years ago. And sometimes out of nowhere, you're going to get your account banned, which, lo and behold, we got that dreaded letter from Google that we pretty much, the party's over and it's all, you're out of business. And next thing you know, a lot of our sites started to get de-indexed from Google, and we wanted more of a reliable income. We just wanted a better way. We knew that if we were able to combine our knowledge of doing offline marketing with what we learned, pretty much a crash course learning so much from you, as well as others about internet marketing, we're going to have a very successful business. And we figured, again, that this is going to be much more stable. You can actually be making paychecks every month. Well, they're not paychecks because you're not going to work, but they're checks coming to your mailbox month after month. But it's also, one thing I love about it is I want consistency. It's nice to make money, but I want to be able to duplicate those results month after month, because that's how you actually can know how much you can pay for your bills, and you're not having to wake up in a cold sweat wondering how am I going to pay my mortgage or my car payment or what have you. So you got to have a stable business, and that's one thing that offline marketing definitely does for you.
And that's one thing we actually created for ourselves. Once we created the system, it was very easy to get new business clients because all it was rinse and repeat. And now we have this on autopilot. But before, we didn't know what we were doing. We were receiving low checks from these people because we didn't know exactly how much to really charge. And after a while, we figured this out. Now, I'm telling you, it's great now, and it's awesome. I have a great life where I can go on vacation to Florida and still receive a lot of checks inside the mailbox when we get back.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, didn't you just go on vacation just a few weeks ago and came home and you're talking about all those checks in your mailbox?
Yeah, Jim actually just got back from Palm Coast, Florida. That's where he has one of his vacation properties, actually, and it's pretty close to the beach, and he loves it.
It's funny, you know, I'm fishing on a fishing boat, and I'm going to tell you, I caught a ton of dolphin out there, and it was so much fun, but I'm laughing because while I'm actually having fun, I'm making money. So how can you beat that at all?
Yeah, but that's not Dolphin the flipper, you know, on the TV show.
Yeah, that's not the wrong kind of that's not the right kind of dolphin we're talking about. Exactly. So you don't get freaked out. It's a catch and release program for no purposes. Okay, so you went out. You started out going for small businesses, and why did you go for small businesses instead of say go for large businesses?
Well, that's somebody that you could relate to. Now, we didn't go for just any small businesses. We had certain ones that were professionals as well as service-orientated. You're not going to really get your dry cleaner on the street corner or, say, a mom-and-pop sub shop to want to sign up with you because they got plenty of foot traffic plus visibility along the road. You need to find people that get a high ticket per client so that way they could pay you the big bucks. You don't want to work with somebody who you're going to have to work like heck just to get them to pay their bill every month, and they're going to be saying, well, what the heck do I need you for? You want somebody who makes a good score, say, for instance, a divorce attorney, for instance, or somebody, say, a LASIK surgeon or a dentist. They make a nice score. And you got to remember, what is their lifetime value of a customer? When you go from that standpoint, you know that charging $1,000 per month is nothing wrong with that because, again, these people are making a nice amount of money and they're glad to pay it because, you know, again, they're confused as heck as to what to do because times have changed. Yellow pages, they just don't work anymore. All of those old-fashioned marketing techniques, using Valpak or Penny Saver or putting even an ad in the newspaper, as sure many people have heard that Amazon, Jeff Bezos, rather I should say, just bought out the Washington Post because the paper is, you know, it's just not making the money it used to. And he basically stepped in to pretty much, you know, a lot of papers actually around the country are going bankrupt. So, again, things aren't what they used to be. And so we're on the cutting edge of the information, and we know that if you can keep this going and get enough clients, you can basically sooner or later retire off of this and sell this business to somebody else. And Yellow Pages may even buy it from you.
That's exactly right. See, one thing these people don't understand is that when you sign up a business client, for example, and he's paying you $700 a month, when Ken's saying that I'm a landlord or I have a lot of rental properties, now remember, when you have a rental property, you have to pay for it every time. For example, you got to pay the property tax. You have to pay the insurance. You got to keep that renter in there. And then when they leave, you got to go over there and you got to clean that all out. And that can take maybe a week. And now you're losing a lot of money when you're doing this. Now, that's why I like to get a business client. Now, he's paying $700 a month. And there's nothing that you have to really do. I mean, you create a couple of videos, you get them on first page. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, they're happy, we're happy. So it's win-win for everyone.
Okay, so you talk about gatekeepers. Now, what do you mean by gatekeepers and how do you get past the gatekeeper?
Okay, well, this is some of the techniques that we do teach in the course because one of the things I'm going to say is that about doing offline marketing, and I'm also going to put my real estate hat on, my real estate broker's hat, and I have a ton of agents that work for me. Well, you know what? None of those agents want to go out and get listings. And the only way that you're going to actually stay successful in real estate is you have to have a ton of listings and basically have other agents selling your listings for you. But I could never get anybody to go out and get it. But it's the same thing if I were to tell you, hey, there's a dark cave over there, and there's some money in there, but there also might be bears and everything else in there. Well, you're going to get freaked out. You're not going to go in the cave, even though there's money in the dark cave. But if we give you a flashlight and I give you a map and I show you exactly how to get to the money, you're going to walk in and walk out with confidence. And that's the same thing as what we teach you with this course is we teach you, basically we give you the light and the flashlight to go into the dark cave so you're not so freaked out and scared about calling one of the offline marketer, rather the offline clients. Because again, a lot of people are afraid of rejection. And of course it's all mental, and it's easy to say, hey, don't worry about it, just let it roll off like water on a duck's back. But again, a lot of people don't have the proper tools to overcome the rejection, so the more doors that get slammed in your face, the more reluctant that you actually are to go out there and try to get new business. And eventually you just end up quitting because you say, heck with this, I can't stand it. This is a really negative type business. And we want people to do this because we feel like what we do is we help business owners stay in business. And it makes us feel good. We've had so many of our clients tell us that because of us, they've been able to buy more trucks for their businesses. I've had even one of our clients actually tell me, hey, can you slow it down a little bit? I'm too busy. I can't handle all the calls I'm getting. But it makes me feel good. So again, if you take this from a positive standpoint, that there's a lot of money here and it's easy, you're going to want to do it all the time. And again, eventually you grow this business to a point where you could actually sell it to somebody else and retire.
Great, and I love that analogy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump back. I love that analogy with the dark cave.
Mm-hmm. And also, one thing you have to remember is that we have this on autopilot, so that we do this all around the United States. And a lot of these people, they're going to be afraid to cold call. That's no problem. We have so many different methods to actually get clients that you don't even need to really talk to them. And this is going to be great for you guys because you can do this on autopilot. We even teach how to actually get help from other people, and they're actually going to drive clients to you also.
Okay, so you guys are not going to, in offline Mobster, you're not going to hold a gun to the customer's head and threaten to kill him with it. I just wondered, because it's offline Mobster.
That would be wrong.
I was wondering if,
you might make some good money from it, but you wouldn't feel right about it.
Okay.
Well, then call us.
Okay, so this is not your traditional offline course.
No, far from it. And
Okay.
I got to tell you that I certainly would never call anybody out by name or anything like that. But you know what? There are a lot of people out there that will sell you an offline course, and it's pretty much based on what you'd call theory. They actually have no clue about how to do offline marketing, and we actually show you real checks that we earn in our business, and they're not even some of the big checks, because I don't want people to be skeptical, so I'd rather show you something that, hey, you can understand and believe. But the main thing is keep in mind that a lot of these people, again, if they are doing offline courses, ask them where their checks are. Well, give me some proof that you're actually doing this, because, again, so many people are creating rehashed old content, and unfortunately it's doing a disservice to so many people. And some of these courses, I've seen them online for as much as $1,500, which is pretty pitiful that somebody's going to prey on somebody else in their ignorance and sell you a $1,500 course when our course is not even a fraction of that. I mean, it's what we put into it. We give you a ton of information for the small amount that we ask in return. And again, we don't make a living off of doing WSOs. This isn't what we do. We just basically create these things to give back to the Warrior Forum community because of all the things that it's done for us. And so it's just our way of giving back. And again, is also hoping that people will do this around the country the right way and keep businesses in business. And we want to see the economy flourish in the United States and not go down. And of course, worldwide too.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, Jim. I'm sorry.
That's right. I'm going to tell you, there is so many people that sometimes even when we were going to make this course, I know that some of these people are going to buy it and they're going to rehash what we say, but we really do this on a daily basis. And it's a lot of fun of how we actually teach this, because when we go to a client or they call us back, they're happy to actually hear from us. They're not going to slam a door in their face, because we're going to show you techniques to actually give out freebies to actually get them to actually say, hey, thanks, Jim. I really appreciate it. Or that was really funny.
Yeah, so just kind of recapping very quickly, this course is not a traditional offline course. You guys have tons and tons of experience in the offline world. You've got $1 million in sales in multiple brick-and-mortar businesses, and you're actually doing what you're teaching.
Exactly.
Okay?
We really walk the talk. We're not just teaching theory like a professor might do in a college somewhere behind a desk at like they call it the ivory tower. We actually get out there. We talk to people on a regular basis. I mean, we actually make it happen. And, again, we've been doing this for a number of years. We've never released an offline course before to anyone ever because, basically we've been happy doing this on our own. But we get a lot of people that ask us how we do this. So we figured, hey, let's go ahead and put a course together, give some of our techniques, and hopefully it's going to help a lot of people on the forum.
Hey, I know I'm excited to get started, and I hope that anyone listening to this very short webinar gets excited too. Because if you're struggling in internet marketing and you haven't made any money at it or made very little money, these guys know what they're talking about. It's a very small investment for this course, and you're going to learn how to actually put money in your pocket using these techniques that these guys have developed from really years and years of having their own businesses and running their own businesses. Hey, I want to thank you guys for showing up today.
We're glad to be here, and we're glad that you had us on there.
I want to thank the audience for taking time out of your day to watch this webinar and listen to what James and Ken have to say. And now you have to take action. You're not going to be able to make any money by not taking action. You're going to have to click on the button to purchase this WSO. Remember, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. You don't like it, get your money back. We're not going to hold a grudge. We'll gladly give you your money back. So, without further ado, click on the button to purchase now, and we'll see you on the inside. Thanks a lot, guys.
Later on.
Thanks.